And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is the newest update for 1220. Basically, what you need to know is the Resistance got a rework. 3 characters out of the Resistance, and you know there's only a few Resistance to begin with, have been reworked to make them more viable as a team. Also, additionally, there's been an additional ship added that nobody will be able to get. So let's go ahead and go through this. So Finn, he is going to deal more damage now with his crack shot, and it increases the chance to expose and stun his enemies with takedown. Hold the line now grants increased healing. It's going to also share that healing with Dameron, so that's pretty cool. There's some synergy now with Poe and Finn. Additionally, his Omega upgrade for this ability will now give Finn the ability to dispel all debuffs from allies, so he's going to become a cleanser. That's really cool. One more in the game. And balanced tactics are going to be reworked to grant more offense and much more defense. That's really cool. This ability also has a Zeta upgrade, giving Resistance allies more synergy with Foresight and Expose. As far as Dameron goes, they're going to do his Resistance Bravado. The Omega upgrade now is going to inflict buff immunity on target enemy, as well as the 15% exposed chance. And Stand Firm bonuses are now granted to Finn, and upgrade 6 adds whenever Poe loses taunt, Finn gains the taunt. So it goes back and forth between the two of them as far as the taunting goes, which is going to really equalize and balance out who takes damage. Pretty cool. Resistance Trooper, his Opportune Strike is going to now, the Omega upgrade now dispels all buffs from a target enemy, as well as plus 15% damage. So that's going to dispel the opponent. That's really cool. And then unlock Finn and revisit your Resistance squad today. I'm not sure why they put that under Resistance Trooper as a rework, but there's a couple of squad tournaments going on. There's a Going Rogue squad tournament where everybody gets to fight for 20 shards of a ship they won't be able to fly until July of this year. Like my Darth Vader, a ship that I probably won't have until July of this year. But anyway, this is my thought on the tournaments, okay? So everybody just needs to take a step back and not worry about it. Basically, there's 3 different ways to farm characters now. There's the old school way, which is you farm them, good old-fashioned farming, right? It takes forever, but you can do it. Anyone can do it, the free-to-play method. The other opportunity is the pay-to-play method, which is buying the characters out of a shard shop, or you know, not a shard shop, but the chromium packs, that kind of thing. And now there's a third way, which is these tournaments. And I just look at it as farming. You know, you get a few shards here and a few shards there. As long as the tournaments continue, we'll be able to continue to get these shards. Truly, I actually want more tournaments. They should be doing a weekly tournament, so that way we are getting shards of something every single week, which makes for a relatively fast farm if you think about it, and they could even rotate a few characters in, so that way we don't get them super fast. But if you place higher, you get them faster, and if you don't place quite as high, it takes a little longer to farm. But at least they're accessible, right? The Emperor's Demise, of course, is coming by, and if you haven't seen my Emperor in-depth character review, I would recommend checking it out. It is a little long, I apologize, but it was a lot of information in that video to cover. The Boarding Action Squad tournament is going to return January 1st. That's Darth Vader's personal ship that they're going to give more shards off of, and this will be the second time in so much as a couple of weeks that they've given some shards out for that. The Droid Fights back event is coming. That's a pretty quick event. It's PvE, so people like the PvE. Hero of the Rebellion squad is going to return, and that's obviously for Jin, your Jin collection, so that's pretty cool. Some changes that are probably going to be upsetting a few people. Baze is being removed from the shard shop, so if you don't have him, you're not going to. And if you had him, you better hurry up and go into your shard shop and buy what few shards you can get left before they disappear today. And double drops from the Cantina have come to a close and are gone as of the forced update. As far as bugs go, there were a few bugs they fixed. Emperor Palpatine, his crackling doomed damaged Jedi, of course, and the Jedi Temple Guards weren't marked as Jedi in the game, so they weren't taking that damage. Cassian Andor is now going to correctly use his special ability when under the artificial intelligence control. And then the Jedi category, like they said earlier, has been added to the Jedi Temple Guards. This will help, obviously, Emperor Palpatine, but also Maul's anti-Jedi abilities will now work against them as well. And then lastly, the pirates that are in the PvE, for example, the credit heist and things like that, they're tagged as scoundrels, as they should be. And so Boba Fett's going to do more damage, things like that. Now let's take a look at this new ship that they've got that we're all going to get to look at and not play with. his U-Wing. It's pretty cool. It's actually got a crew of 3, which is kind of cool. Jin and K2SO and then Kasan. Let's see. Gorillaz Strike. This is pretty cool. It deals special damage to a target enemy and calls a target ally to assist. Now it says target ally. This is only the second time you can choose an ally to assist, so that's really cool. Both attackers are going to get additional critical damage, so that means they're just going to hit a lot harder when they're called like that out of turn. That's cool. Also, dispel any debuffs. This is infiltration tactics. This is what Jin brings. Dispel all debuffs on a target ally. So now this is a second debuff. This will be a way to cleanse your own team if you're not using Admiral Akbar, or just another way to cleanse your team if you're with Admiral Akbar. If that ally's a rebel, then they also get turn meter. So that's really cool. It's going to speed the team up. And then, of course, K2SO brings his ability, which inflicts target lock and tenacity down for 2 turns, so they're more likely to take all those negative debuffs. These effects cannot be resisted, so that's going to happen for sure. If the target has any buffs, then they're going to lose turn meter as well, so that's really cool. The ship actually has an ability called Trailblazer. It's going to just deal physical damage to an enemy. However, if target lock is on the enemy you're attacking, the U-Wing's going to gain turn meter, so it's going to speed up the ship. And then the special unique is called Avoid Contact. All allies, this is almost like a leadership ability, all allies are going to have 15% critical avoidance and +5 evasion when attacked by target locked enemies. So if you can really get target lock spread on your opponents, these bonuses are also doubled for rebel allies. So 30%, it starts at 30% critical avoidance and +10% evasion for those allies that are rebels. And of course, we all know there's quite a few rebels in here. There's about 4 ships aside from the main ship, the main capital ship. There's the Bistons, U-Wing, Biggs, and Wedge. And most people are using Biggs and Wedge in Home 1. And so if you're using those, this is definitely going to be a great addition to the selection. But this is my thought on it. Just do the tournaments, get a few shards, place as well as you can. Don't stress about it. You know, the last tournament I live streamed, you can check that out as well. I was shooting for a top 100. I got 110th because I ran out of time. Whatever, no worries. I'll get more shards next time. There is not one character in the game that is a be-all, end-all character. Every team can be beat by another team composition. So don't stress about the tournaments. Use them to get all your extra gold and credits and training bots and whatever other gear you can get, and get some shards in the meantime. And when and if you get those characters, you'll be able to farm them up at that time. Yes, it's going to be a slower grind going through tournaments, so you want to place a little higher if you want that grind to be not so long. But really, we need to be not telling them to have tournaments go away. We need to tell them to up the amount of tournaments, therefore increasing the amount of credits we get and the amount of shards that we're going to get for these characters. So, as always, have yourselves an awesome afternoon. Keep gaming on. Warrior, out.